Welcome back. You know, Pastor Alan Cardines Jr. from Nanakuli. We were having such a fast and fabulous conversation last time that you were sharing the Aloha acrostic and the two poragi wannabes, the two talkative people on set, kind of forgot to go back to the last A in Aloha. So can you recap for us? And you know, I love to say that that was Jesus' genius because we left them hanging. The suspense was building, and now we have a part 2 with Pastor Alan Cardines. Thanks for coming back, brother.
Blessed to be here to talk about the most important thing in the world.
Yes.
And that is aloha. And so again, just brief recap, and then we can talk about why this is important. Again, it's in Hawaii Revised Statute 57.5.
Thank
right?
you.
The first A is Akahai, to be kind. In order to be kind to other people, I have to learn how to control me no matter what they do. Because if I cannot control myself, then I'm out of control.
Yes.
And so I got to learn how to control myself, and I would never try to control or exploit other people.
Akahai, kindness, and interesting that that's a major push and campaign in our schools today. Most every elementary, be kind.
Right.
Basic.
So that's so important. So that's the A. L stands for Lōkahi, or unity. That is focus on the we, not the me.
Wow.
And learn how to build bridges, not blow them up.
Ooh.
Learn how to build bridges and not walls.
It's good.
And we need to learn how to coexist. You know, this year we're celebrating 50 years of the Hokulea, the voyage.
Yes.
And that is so important for us as a people, because that symbolizes the voyage of rediscovery.
Wow.
Of a people and a place. Well, same thing with Aloha.
Yeah.
It's a voyage of rediscovery.
Yeah.
Of who we are as a people. And we have to Lōkahi and learn how to coexist together in spite of our differences.
Yeah.
And because if not, the world's going to fall apart.
Well, and a great pastor always teaches me about Lōkahi coming together is we put the unity in community, and also to bless, no blast. Oh, wait, that was you on both counts, Brother Alan.
Yeah, and a good illustration of that for all the Kanakas, all the Hawaiians out there. You know, it's like the tea leaf that hold the lau together.
Okay.
Right? Without the tea leaf, the lau going to fall apart.
Dissipates.
Well, Aloha is like that tea leaf.
Oh, wow.
Without that, without the Lōkahi, without the Akahai, without Aloha, everything will fall apart. So Lōkahi, we have to learn how to coexist together, because the island is a canoe and a canoe is an island. We have to. If there's any place in the world that must demonstrate that, must perpetuate that, it is us as an island people to Lōkahi.
And to go back to your bridge analogy, we can't burn bridges on an island. Because as you said, if there's anywhere in the whole wide world that has to get the Lōkahi, it's us. We got to maintain relationship.
But then the question is, but how do we deal with all these people, you know, that with different opinions and different philosophies,
a very
and
divided nation,
politics, right? Well, that's sort of O in Aloha comes in, Olu'olu.
Nice.
That is to agree to disagree, or to listen skillfully. And I've been talking about that a whole lot more, because Olu'olu is the art of listening. Listening respectfully to hear and to understand where the other person's coming from.
Wow.
And not agree.
Yes, to agree to disagree agreeably or respectfully.
Right.
Olu.
So we need that. We need to learn how to, the art of listening.
Yes.
And I think someplace says it like quick to listen, like slow to speak and slow to get angry.
It's good. It's good.
Right?
The good
so
book.
So when it comes to that, we have to break the lie that we have to agree on everything. No, we don't. No, we don't.
Good.
Who said that? We don't. Mari and I this year will be 30 years married in a row. For the record, in a row. Love you, honey. Love you. And she reminded me in the community that, I don't agree with Alan on 75%.
Wow.
I thought maybe 5%.
Yeah.
Lower average, 75%.
Wow.
But we're able to stay married and be in this relationship because we're learning the art of Olu'olu. Skillfully listening
good
and to understand,
and vital to keep the
vital for the very survival and existence for us as the Aloha people in the Aloha state. So that's the O part, and then the H is humility.
Love it.
You know, it's putting civility back in humility back in civilization.
Wow.
And humbling ourselves to look at other people better than us.
Yeah.
And it really is learning the art of being a treasure hunter.
Wow.
Looking for treasures in people, places, and problems, especially in people we didn't vote for, we don't like.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because God so loved the world, and we got to learn how to love the world the way God does. And He didn't send His Son Jesus, which is, by the way, the original Mr. Aloha.
Yeah.
He didn't send His Son into the world to judge, to punish, to condemn, but to pull out the treasures in them.
It's good.
In people, places. But you can only do that from a position of humility. And that's how.
Wow. To be a treasure hunter and not just see the trash and the opala.
Yeah, because if you look for trash in people, that's all you're going to find. Because you're looking for trash.
Yeah.
Right? Whether it's politics and relationships, no matter what where you go, we need to start to look at the lens. You know, in order to see aloha, we need to put on the aloha lens.
Wow.
In such a way, oh my God. Huh? You know? Because if we don't want aloha, look at the world, people, places, and problems from the lens of aloha, all we're going to see is trash.
The darkness and how dark your world will be. It's so good.
That's the H. And then let's not forget before we end this show, I know you're spending more time. And the reason why I am here today is because of the last A. Ahonui.
Here it comes. Oh, he did it.
Patience and perseverance. And part of that is learning how to be patient, and learning how to persevere is taking personal responsibility for you. Taking personal responsibility for you and going, again, managing you. But more importantly, it's taking extreme responsibility.
Yeah.
Your life is the way it is because of the choices that you made.
Come on.
Stop blaming the White House. Stop blaming the mayor's house, the governor's house. No. My life is this way because I'm reaping what I'm sowing. And the decisions I made got me in this mess.
It's good.
So I need to learn how to persevere to this thing. So part of it is taking responsibility for your mess and clean up your own mess. Wow.
That's almost a truth that's so clear and a trumpet blast loud. It's so clear to me, Alan, when you say take responsibility for yourself. But the reason why it's so loud is we don't hear that kind of accountability in our world anymore, in our culture.
And that's why this message on and what you're doing is so important. And this is what we're working on. We're realizing, I'm realizing that the spiritual, moral, and relational compass is broken.
Very much so.
And we must define what that is. So I'm meeting with government leaders, community leaders, and encouraging them that we must find a spiritual, relational, moral compass that points true north, that doesn't change every elections.
Yes.
And that goes back, and I'm telling them, I'm not trying to be preacher churchy here, but you know, the Bible is the foundation on civilization.
Very much so.
God created the Aina, the islands, and He gave us a set of rules and how to coexist. That's the Bible and the spirit of Aloha. So we must go back to that. So the last A, Ahonui, is so important because in order for us to be patient and to persevere, we have to realize that my mess and what's going on out there in the world is because of what I have sown.
Wow.
So I have to realize that I have to clean up my mess. I was with a retired police officer this morning, and he reminded me, Alan, if we have problems out there going bad, we have nobody but to blame but ourselves.
Wow.
And the Bible teaches us about that, right?
Exactly.
So Ahonui is that I will take responsibility for the mess that I made, and I will clean it up.
Wow.
I will clean up my family. I will clean up my community.
Right.
I will clean up my home, Hawai'i. I will. And it's that kind of passion, that kind of desire. And I will, in persevering and having patience, I will honor the generations before me, but I will leave a legacy for those after me.
So good.
Me.
Yes.
On me.
Yes.
Partnering God to be able to just live aloha, love aloha, share aloha, that we can turn this culture and this world around. So that's the A. We got to it.
Ooh, high five, brother. You did it. perseverance and patience, and that starts with me, because even like compassion, I go into schools, I teach compassion. It's part of the Choose Love program, but compassion has to start again with the teachers, with me. Before I can teach something, I have to be practicing it. Or another Hawaiian mo'olelo or saying is the ulu doesn't fall far from the tree. On continent, we might say the apple doesn't fall real far from the tree. I eat both ulu and apple, so I'm down either way. But it means that your child becomes like yourself. You can only reproduce what you are. You know, speaking to the extreme ownership and responsibility that you were saying, I think there's just so much goodness to that. And I say that fresh out of my own Bible devotions this morning. I was reading in the book of 1 Samuel chapter 2, and it was about, you know, Samuel's sons were stealing from the sacrifices at the altar. And I was like, yeah, let's go. I'm going to start lynching all these names were coming to me about pastors who take the sacrifice for themselves as the sons were doing. And instead of that happening, I had it all written out, ready to start blasting, not blessing. And the Lord said, now let's take a look at how you, Don O'Brien, have been taking the best of the sacrifices for yourself. Oh, and all of that fire I was going to start spitting at, let's say, the White House, the governor's house, the mayor's house, all of that fire I had for other preachers' houses, the Lord started turning back on me. And once I deal with my, what, Lord, what are you talking about? When have I stolen the best of the sacrifices? I live sacrificially. No, you have not. And then when I turn back, it's kind of like what we say, when you point at somebody else, you got one finger pointing at them, but you got four on yourself. Now, when I look back to go help my brother take the speck out of his eye, I have true compassion because I took care of the log forest in my own eyes. Thank you for bringing that up. Timely word.
No, but you're bringing up something so important. Aloha begins with me.
Yeah.
Aloha begins with me. You can't give what you don't have.
There it is.
So it's an inside out.
There it is.
Again, and that's why, again, for me, I'm a practitioner of practicing these things that we're talking about, and we need it for such a time as this. So that's where it starts. It starts with us.
And if that was fresh for me, DOB this morning, it's got to be fresh for a lot of us, because it's our culture today to say, no, 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 everybody else needs to change. I'm just going to keep waiting. And to go back to your hokulea comparison or picture, that the hokuleas are boat. It's how we came here in a canoe. But in a boat, you usually have 6 people, right? You've got the person in front, the stroker, you've got the person in back, the steers person, and you've got 4 people paddling for your life. You are paddling to get to the finish line. And often when I was paddling with Huinanu, I was like, I'm going to be pulling my weight. But when I see somebody else cruising on what is meant to be a warship, because I'm fighting, this is war. If you're sitting there eating popcorn and bonbons and having the time of your life doing a tour of the Ka'anapali coast, you out my boat, because now I have to pull my weight. I'm pulling the boat's weight and I'm pulling your weight, which means we have a problem. So I like that extreme ownership.
Yeah,
each
that's
of
the
us pulling
expectation.
strong.
And again, that's aloha, right?
Yes.
To be able to coexist together, and it takes teamwork to make the dream work.
It's good.
And so forth. So that's so good.
Thank you. We got the final A. Yay. I feel resolution. I feel completion.
So good.
Next question, Pastor. What is the best way, with all of that said, now that we know the ALOHA and that each component really was prophetically determined, it was spoken, and they all come together, coalesce so nicely to be the tea leaf that wraps that lau that keeps us together. How do we live aloha best today in this very hard and challenging, even desperate world?
You know, before I get into the how, if we can talk about the why quickly.
That's good.
Why aloha is so important. I feel like there's a cultural deconstruction going on because we don't have the aloha, the tea leaf, to hold it together. And people ask, what is this culture deconstruction? You know, I've been hanging out with Danny Silk, a great man of God, and in his book called The Way of the Dragon Slayer, he talks about the cultural deconstruction. It's the deconstruction of men.
Wow.
The best version of men.
Wow.
Because their fathers are not around. They don't know the father. So you don't have the very best version of the man of aloha.
Wow.
The best version.
Yeah.
Right? So you have the deconstruction of man. Now that guy gets married and you get the deconstruction of marriage. And then they make babies and you get the deconstruction of the family. And then now they go out there, they get involved in organizations, they lead organizations, and maybe a church or politics, whatever. And you got the deconstruction of the church and an organization and politics. And then now you got the deconstruction of family.
Wow.
And everything is just unraveling. And now you have, like in the book of Genesis, shame, blame, fear, isolation, disconnection from God, from each other, and the Aina.
Oh.
So it's and the deconstruction of culture leads to the destruction of culture.
Yeah.
And this will continue to happen unless the people of Aloha rise up.
It's good.
And push against the unravel and the destruction of culture.
Wow.
No more Aloha in man, no more Aloha in marriage, no more Aloha in family, no more Aloha in
the land,
whatever organization, and no more Aloha in a community. I shared this in a meeting with government officials a couple of weeks ago, and one of the leaders, very influential leaders, stood up, said, Pastor Allen is right. And these are government officials, and they know this, right? People look at the fruit, but you got to look at the root.
Come on.
So this whole deconstruction that's going on, that's the problem. So that's the why we need to learn how to live Aloha so we can shift from the worst version of man, marriage, family, community, and so forth to the best version. And that is Aloha. Apart from that, we're just making noise, and there's a lot of noise going on there.
Right. Thank you. And if we don't deal with the root, we're going to keep getting the same fruit. It's like expecting something different every time, but we're not changing because we didn't deal with the root issues.
Exactly.
That's good. So we know the why. And even as you were saying that, Alan, I could hear just like the implosion or the explosion of buildings. You know, when you see them take down these buildings on the Vegas Strip or whatever it is, and they implode them down, I could hear the crumbling within one generation. It happened. The most ideal Mr. Aloha man that happened. And then we see the fallout in the families with fatherless children and etc.
Yeah.
So that's good. So now that we know the why, now the how comes easy.
The how is become a practitioner, making Aloha our highest, absolute highest priority. There is nothing more important than defining the compass of Aloha and living Aloha. I always say, live Aloha, love Aloha, share Aloha, become a practitioner. And it doesn't take much. This morning, for the last couple of days, there's been cigarette butts all over in the front of my home, on my street where I live. And then I found out the neighbor next door smoked cigarettes, threw it out there. We got home this morning and I told Mari, pray for me. I'm going to talk to my neighbor. And I got a whole bunch of cigarette butts in a bag that I picked up as evidence. So I took it next door and Mari started praying. And excuse me, can we like be the best neighbors and take care of our place? I said, I found all these cigarette butts. Apparently somebody that lives in his home is going right in the front and throwing out there in the road. Could you please help us out, be the better? And the guy was very apologetic and stuff. So when I went back, Mari, like, well, what did you do? I went bless him and not bless him.
Wow.
I went practice all the stuff that I talk about.
Yeah. And
she said, wow, I don't know if I would have been able to do it so eloquently and nicely as you did. And I said, you know what? The greatest thing, it wasn't me.
Yeah.
It was God in me.
It's good.
And so we have to submit, surrender, and rely and depend on greater is he who is in me than he who is out there in the world. Galatians 2:20 is one of my favorite verses when it comes to tough times. I have been crucified with Christ.
Yeah.
I no longer live, but Christ lives in me, right?
Excellent.
So we have to be able to look at how can we live this out, not just on Sunday mornings.
Right, when you're preaching, but then to live up to what you just sermonized. And what's interesting to me is that you're going to live next to this neighbor for the conceivable near future. Let's say at least for until the end of the month. And so living in Aloha doesn't mean just being a doormat and saying, no worries, I love having cigarette butts in my front yard or on the sidewalk in front of our house. It's saying, hey, brother, can we be the best neighbor? That was exceptional, because a lot of times I might feel uncomfortable confronting a friend or a neighbor or someone saying, bro, your dog barks all night long. Could you please help me out? Or, you know, we have trash piling up, or all these things where we're not, it's not confronting, it is confronting, but with Aloha, right? To speak the truth in love.
Yeah, you know what? We have to talk about confrontation because
Yeah.
we're living in a times of confrontation.
Thank you.
All over. What is the goal of confrontation? Well, the goal of confrontation is I will manage my heart no matter what you do.
Wow.
I will manage my heart no matter what you do, so I can cast out the fear that God's love is perfected. We have to cast out fear because love and fear are mortal enemies, right?
Yes.
There's so much fear going on, and all of us carry a bucket. One is a bucket of water. Number two is a bucket of gasoline. It's easy and so common for people to put gasoline on a situation and make it bigger what it is.
Yeah.
When you practice aloha, you put water in a situation.
Right.
So goal of confrontation, I will
Wow.
manage me no matter how this meeting goes. And by the way, I'm not here to punish you, judge you, condemn you. I'm just here to love you. I'm just here to connect no matter what. Can we just kind of talk this out?
Right.
So we need to learn and get better at confronting, communicating, and
Healthy
all these
confrontation. And I love that
Healthy,
you
yeah.
said the number one goal of confrontation is I'm going to manage myself, which takes the extreme ownership of Ahonui, the last A in Aloha. But I would have said resolution. When I heard your question, what is the number one goal of confrontation? Is we have a problem. There's a difference here. How are we going to come to a common resolution? But it is resolution. But before I can get to the resolution, I have to deal with myself, which is what you said. And it's either I'm going to pour the gas on it and make it really bad. Like I'll lay up in my bed and just think about how I want to take out the neighbor's dog because it's barking, to the point where I finally walk over there and I'm starting to yell and say, "Brah, your dog barks all night long. I can't sleep. Da 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 da." And now I'm pouring that gas on the fire.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
we've now escalated into, right? And that's the game of war, is we're both going to escalate.
Yeah, so how do we live aloha? We have to prioritize connection over correction.
Wow. Wow.
People want to correct, and deal with the issue and all of that. But if there's no connection, the issue will always be there.
Right.
Because at the heart of our problems is the problem of our heart. And if we cannot control our heart to make connection the priority, we will never going to see change. And people said, but old school, you got to correct them and all of that. And Kelly Boyd have a good testimony in the video, right? About his anger and all of that. So what we have to do, I think, is we have to focus, make our highest priority connection before correction.
Wow.
And connection before perfection.
It's so good.
Right now, people want to perfect their kids, perfect their spouse, perfect. And we don't know that we're pushing them away. So we're creating distance, not connection.
Absolutely.
And we want to correct, but we're not connecting. So how do you live aloha? Make connection.
It's good.
Our number one priority, no matter what.
Wow.
Build that. Case in point, our neighborhood security watch was honored at the state capitol.
Congratulations. I saw it. Nicely done to the whole team, right?
Yeah, yeah. And so, I was there reluctantly, but I was obedient to show up. And what was amazing is that with a number of these legislators, I have stood against the policies that they had recommended and voted for fiercely, and sharing why this is not good for our kids and our community.
Yeah.
But when we were there, when we were honored that day, close to 50 legislators out there come up. They pass out, and how are you, Representative?
Whoa.
And I said, you know what?
Wow.
That's what I love about the people in the place here. That we're not going to have to agree on all these things, and we're going to deal with the issue and the policy, but we're going to love each other. So we're not going to act like the other 49 because we're the people in a place of aloha.
Yeah.
So that's how we deal with things. We deal with things in a respectful way, in a kind way, in a way that we can Lōkahi coexist together. And Olu'olu.
Right.
We agree to disagree. I heard what you said. I don't really understand. I'm trying to understand. But at the end of the day, I'm against this.
Yes.
I'm against this.
Right.
Love you, pray for you and the family. And that's it. That's really it.
Huge. Like you said, it's the connection, and then the correction can come. And what I extra appreciate about you, Alan, is that you even were very forthright and in the front about this when you said, so-and-so senator, representative, you know, I'm going to come hard against, let's say, sports gambling. I'm going to come hard against this issue, but you know, my heart is with you. I love you. At the end of the day, we're going to hug, we're going to honi, we're going to be one community. But on the issue of, let's say, sports gambling or some of the other things that have come up, I'm going to go so hard, but it's about the issue, not about the person. I am not against the person. At the end of the day, we all get to be neighbors and friends. Awesome job.
Yeah, I mean, I do that when I look at the bills, who introduced the bills, who's championing that. I'm like, what? And if I ever, I do my best to reach out to them, but especially if I have a relationship with them,
right?
A courtesy, a personal, professional call, a heads up. I noticed that you're in support of this. I don't know. I don't understand why. I'm sure you got good reasons, but FYI, I love you, first of all. And that's what we have to communicate. I love you. I love you. I just so love you.
And that takes the onus of the burden off of that person where it's like, this is a personal attack. And then it puts it on the issue. We're going to deal with the problem. It's not a problem. The person is not the problem.
Yeah.
I love that. Okay, curveball. Stock market just dropped the last 2 days, thousands of points, right? Then I see Young Brothers is raising their rates 20%, and that'd be on every single thing that's coming into the state of Hawaii. We also hear about a lot of wars and the threats of wars. We really look like we're living in the last days that were predicted in the Bible, in many other places. What would you say to anyone who's watching this now? Today, right in that seat where they're sitting, that might need a word of hope, because things are getting really tough in the state of Hawaii. We know we have viewers in other places around the nation and around the world. What would you say to all of us who are walking through some desperate times? How do we live aloha?
Yeah, if you're out there and you need hope to cope, hope to float, there's one way, is Jesus Christ, to be honest with you. Put your hope in Jesus. Why? Because he's the original Miss Aloha. So put your faith and trust in him. Number 2, remember who you are. I don't know if you saw the movie The Lion King, when Simba lost his dad and Mufasa showed up in the water.
It's my favorite.
Remember who you are. In times like this, remember, we are the people and the place of Aloha.
It's good.
No matter how things go out there, the only person you can control on a good day is yourself. So if you need help, Jesus Christ is the way, the truth, and life. Manage you. Practice what we've been talking about. This end times thing comes up a lot.
It has been.
With the economy, especially with the economy.
Right.
Wars, rumors of wars, and so forth. And end times, and so forth. Let's talk about end times. In the scripture, Job 2:28, we talked about this. In the last days, God will pour out his spirit upon all flesh.
Come on.
And people will be able to have dreams and visions and prophesy. That's so powerful, because in the end days, let's look for God pouring out his spirit upon all flesh. Well, Pastor, what do you need to have this spirit? You need flesh. All you need, read the Bible. Job 2:28. God will pour out his spirit upon all flesh. What's the qualification? Flesh. God, there's a lot of flesh out there right now. So our natural needs God's super. Together we can go supernatural. Listen, in the end days, why be a natural person when you can be a supernatural one?
Come on.
That's what Aloha is all about. Why have a normal marriage when you can have a supernatural marriage? Why raise normal children when we can raise supernatural children?
Let's go.
Why do a normal organization we can have a supernatural? Why go natural when we can go supernatural?
Come on.
So God wants to pour out his spirit upon all flesh in the days that we're living on. And I want to encourage you, keep your eyes on the Father. I can tell you what your future is going to be look like. Show me your daddy, I'll show you your future.
Oh, we're going to go there.
Show me your daddy, I'll show you your future. Because God is the God of Aloha.
Oh, wow.
God is in control
God is love. Yes, sir. Yes, come on.
God is in control of who is in control. Let's not depend on the government for our provisions, resource, and protection. But let's depend on the God, the great I am, the Alpha, the Omega, the God that created this universe. And let's be good stewards and ask God for supernatural wisdom, supernatural provisions, supernatural steps moving forward and ask him to pour out your super on my natural so that with you, I can be a people and a place of aloha.
Wow.
So all eyes on the Father for me
Powerful.
in these days, I'm not freaking out because God's love is being perfected in me. I understand what's going on.
Yeah.
But I'm not reading the stuff. I mean, I look at that, but I look at the Father.
Amen.
What the Father's doing. So all eyes on the Father.
Yes, sir. I love that. And you even mentioned the two most powerful, the ultimate powers on earth that we know is love. And then the opposite of love is fear. And you're either operating under love, and we are children made in the image of God. God is love. So you're either operating in your full power, optimal state, or you're operating in fear. And I'll be honest, it's real easy for me to slip into the doom scrolling, right? I'm like, oh my gosh, 2,200 points and stock futures and this and that. But I'm supposed to set my face like a flint to the cross, and I'm supposed to keep my eyes on Jesus because he's working all things together for good. And I love how you said, forgive me, but I got to bring it back up. You said, if God is pouring forth his spirit on all flesh, I got a lot of flesh right here, right? But it's making sure I stay in the love lane because the other lane is fear.
Yeah.
And when I start doing that doom scrolling, or I start looking at those heavy hitting headlines and nuclear war and preparation in Europe and China, Taiwan, I mean, my gosh, I could lose it real fast.
Yeah, and that's why, again, as you're talking, 1 John 4:8 pops up for me, that perfect love casts out all fear.
Come on.
Right? There's no fear in love. There's no fear in love. The Bible says that. And the same way that perfect love can cast out fear, if we're not careful, fear can cast out love.
Yes, immediately.
And that's what's happening.
Yes.
Right? That's
and
what's
even
happening.
To the strongest and the best of us who are in our Bible daily, and we start looking at that other stuff, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to start prepping. I got to start getting gold. I got to start. And I just let go of my Jesus. I just let go of the love of the Lord. I let go of his hand, and I've started grabbing into the things of this world. Is that not exactly what happens to all of us? On the daily, on the momentarily, on the kini popo. Thank you for saying that, Pastor. So we are to live with hope because we have love, and he cannot be shaken.
And what sets us apart from the world, right? We should be different.
We are called to be a peculiar people, right? A holy nation, a royal priesthood. You're set apart.
Right. So darkness is not the problem in the world. Lack of light is.
Ooh.
And that's what Aloha is.
Wow.
Aloha is light. Aloha is life. And Aloha is love.
Absolutely. So that's a good word for us. Now, I love when you're preaching, Pastor Allen. I love when you drop good word because it's so relevant and it's so simple as a pimple, as some people like to say. Now, who are your Aloha heroes, just to bring it up to that level? Who do you look to when you think about, when you're having a bad day, how do you get yourself out of that funk? Or who do you look up to as your Aloha heroes?
So many people. We would have to take the next couple of years to point them all out. But top of mind, Gene Ward. Representative Gene Ward.
Who, as of this filming, just passed away. Was it 2 days ago?
Friday.
Yeah, a few days.
And why? Because he personifies what we've been talking about. He's a statesman, providing leadership for the greater good of all people, regardless of their denomination, political affiliation, ethnicity, economic status, and so forth. He was an ambassador of Aloha. And
a pillar in our community, a champion for the people.
Yeah, and another one is Tamalani No. I just gave her a buzz,
Sister Tamalani.
Just to remind her, she was very instrumental in the beginning days of transforming Nanakuli.
Yes,
and so forth, along with Tukayona. So there's so many people. I'm super grateful for all those people that saw something in me that I didn't see. They saw potential in me. They believed in me. They gave me platforms and just set me up for the people that I am today. But I thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. I thank my wife Mari, my kids, people like you that just see the importance of the spirit of Aloha. You're definitely one of my heroes, Don, and that's why I'm here today. So.
You get two Hilo girls, Mari, your wife, and then your sister from another mister who doesn't let you go. Thank you. So as we begin to bring this in for a landing, I got just two last questions. This is the Aloha Alive podcast. By the way, thank you for my Aloha card, which Pastor Allen and Duke Iona put out together. And it's got on, as many of you know, on one side, it's the side of light. I have the original, the OG here. And it comes in this little, it has the Aloha acrostic. And then on one side, it's the side of darkness. When you choose things like unforgiving spirit, you're going to get the fruit of that seed. The fruit is disunity when I'm unforgiving. And then the harvest is bitterness. And let me tell you, I don't like the dark side because I've had the dark side. But then there's the side of light. When I'm seeding forgiveness, that's the opposite of unforgiveness. I get the seed of unity in my life, Lōkahi, and then the harvest of joy. Thank you for this. And we want to seed into this seed that you've been spreading. So we're going to give you that aloha later for more aloha cards to be going out across the state. But what is your favorite part of our aloha culture, whether it's a flavor, a smell? Today I gave you the pua keni keni lei, and you of course love that smell. What's one thing you love about that we celebrate in our aloha culture?
You know, if I had to summarize it in one word, it would be ohana.
Wow.
Family, right?
Good.
I mean, like the theologian Lilo and Stitch, right?
Yes.
Nobody gets left behind. When you look around, families on the beaches, families just loving together, multi-generations, the kupunas, right? The keiki, you know, that food and family here in the islands, right? Food and family. I just love that.
What's your favorite food?
Hawaiian food, where do you start? Again, you know, all of it. You know, I love Hawaiian food, you know.
Right, the left side of the menu and the right side. Bring it all.
Yeah. Just local people, local food.
That's good. Alan, last word as you, you know, I know you're out there. You've got to go from here to the state capitol. You've got a number of things you're shaking and baking on. You're also a pastor of Nanai Kapono Protestant Church, which is in Nanakuli, your hometown where you grew up, born and bred. Last word you want to give the people before you rip on out to all the other things. He's also part of the Aloha Minded, which puts out things like this. So many different organizations you're part of. You're also doing, as you said, you're walking the communities and doing neighborhood safety. There's so many things, but what is one thing you want to leave the people watching Aloha Alive podcasts as you go out?
You know, for all of you, again, thank you for tuning in and continue to stay connected, Dawn. And this message of Aloha, again, is one of the most important things in the world. Remember, we have the responsibility to perpetuate the values of this place. Because if not you, then who? If not now, then when? If not here, then where? It's important for all of us to Lōkahi and Laulima together because we are the people in the place of Aloha. So as we leave here together, again, thank you for joining this podcast. Live Aloha, love Aloha, share Aloha. And as we do that, the world will be a better place because of you. So thank you for checking this out. Until we meet again, malama pono ahui ho. God bless.
Aloha. Thank you, Pastor Allen Cardines. And as our little keiki sing in the schools, Aloha. And today you got the final A in Aloha with Pastor Allen. Thank you again. Aloha.
Aloha.